Good morning to you all. I am Professor Subhash Pengre from SK and Senior College of Engineering, Koti, Pandharpur. Today I am going to talk about the topic electronic mail, in which we have to study the different protocols SMTP, POP and IMAP. SMTP is a simple mail transfer protocol. POP is nothing but the post office protocol. It's having the version 3. And IMAP is the Internet Mail Access Protocol version 4. Now, objective of this topic, why we have to study this topic, or we can say what we have to achieve throughout this topic. So first objective is to explain the architecture of electronic mail using 4 scenarios. There are different scenarios which we have to study. Second objective is to explain the user agent, services provided by it, and 2 types of user agent. Third objective is to explain the mechanism of sending and receiving emails. Fourth objective is to introduce the role of a message transfer agent and simple mail. Fifth objective is transfer protocol as the formal protocol that handles MTA. Next objective is to explain email transfer phases. And last objective is to discuss 2 message access agent, that is POP and IMAP. So let me tell you, in this topic we have to study the 3 components of emails in details. So which are those? First one is the user agent, second one is the message transfer agent, and third one is the message access agent. These are the 3 components which we have to study the functionality of each component in details. Architecture of the email. Before going to see the architecture, let me tell you the working of email. In today's date, I think almost everyone is using the email in education system. Even though when the internet was invented, the person who has invented the internet, he has not imagined that much email will be the popular in the future. Today email has too much popularity. When the electronic mail term was evolved, so the purpose of the email was just to exchange the memos, to exchange the text document. But nowadays we are exchanging text, audio, video, some files we can exchange by using the email easily. So everyone is using the email now, but still I want to clear the concept. We are just to send the email from sender to the receiver. Okay, but how it will be sent, which protocol be used, which components will be used, what are the functions of that components, that thing I will clear here. So I will take one example before going to see the architectures. Now suppose I want to send the mail or the email to my friend who is living in the USA. Now what is the procedure to send the email? I will open my, suppose my account is on this email, so I will open my email ID by entering the username and password, that is email ID and password. Once it is authorized or authenticated, then that windows will come, that is inbox, composing mail and all these things. So I will click on the compose, and in the to field I will write the email ID of my friend. Then in the subject I will write the purpose, and in the message box I will write the whatever the content I want to send to my friend. And if there is any attachment of the document, then I will attach the document, and I will click on the send. Now the message or the email will be sent to my friend. Now that friend is living in the USA, and just suppose that server is available in the California. Okay, so whenever the friend got the time, he will open the email ID and by entering the username and password, and he will see that yes, one mail is arrived into the inbox, and then he will read. But when that mail is received, or we can say the drop into the inbox of my friend, so at that time, to pull out the message from server, means the server which is available in the California, from that server the message will be pull out or pull by using the POP or IMAP protocol. At that time, POP or IMAP protocol is used to pull out the message from the server, from California server to wherever my friend in the USA. Okay, to read out that message, these protocols are used. But I send the mail from here, that is from my village, Vehapur. So from here to server which is available in India. Suppose that server is available in India. Suppose it is at the Delhi. Okay, so from here Vehapur to Delhi, the SMTP protocol is used, and from Delhi to USA. In USA, server is available in California city. Okay, in California. So into that server, up to that server, the message or email is transferred by using the SMTP protocol. So the range of the SMTP is from client, means from my mail ID or my laptop to the server which is available at California. Okay, but from California servers to the wherever my friend is in California city, so that message will be pulled. That work is done by the POP or IMAP. So that's why POP or IMAP protocol is called as the message access agent. Keep in mind. While SMTP is called as the push protocol. Clear? So by this way we can use the SMTP and POP or IMAP protocol. Now we will see the architecture. So to explain the architecture of email, we give 4 scenarios. We begin with the simplest situation and complexity as we proceed. The 4th scenario is the most common in the exchange of the email. So nowadays we are using the 4th scenario. We will see later on the working of the 4th scenario. So what we have to discuss in this architecture, we have to discuss the 4 scenarios. First scenario, second, third and 4th scenario. So we will discuss one by one. First one, first scenario, see the diagram. In the diagram, there are 2 users, one is the Alice and second one is the Bob, and these 2 users are connected directly to the mail server. Now, Alice have its user agent as well as Bob have its user agent. Now, what does the Alice while sending the mail? So, Alice uses the program named as a user agent. User agent is one program. Okay, what is the role or responsibility of the user agent? To compose the mail, to forward the mail, or we can say to write the mail. Okay, so these are the some responsibility of the user agent. To open the email. So now by using this user agent, Alice send the mail to the mail server, up to the mail server. So there is one boxes. There is one boxes, and that mail will be dropped into the box. Now whenever Bob have the time, he will open his mail ID, okay, by using the user agent. That program will be executed, which one? User agent, and he will read the content from the mail. So now here Alice and Bob are directly connected to the mail server in case of the first scenario. Clear? So by this way they can exchange the message with each other by using the concept of email. You can see in the diagram now. See here, user agent is sending that content or that mail to the mail server. Then from the mail server, that content will be dropped or we can say forwarded to the Bob. Now here the important thing is when the sender and the receiver of an email are on the same mail server, we need only two user agents. One user agent is at the Alice side, that is client side, and one user agent is at the receiver side, that is at the Bob side. Now second scenario. So the second scenario in the you can see here in the diagram, Alice and Bob are connected to the mail server, but here there are two different mail server. In case of the scenario 1, there was only one mail server, and to that mail server directly Alice and Bob were connected. But here Alice is connected to a different mail server and Bob is connected to a different mail server, and that two different mail servers are connected with each other via the internet. Now here we are using the internet. Okay, so now how our aim is to transfer the message from Alice to the Bob, or we have to transfer email from Alice to the Bob. So now how it will be transferred? So now here Alice will use the user agent, that is one program, and he will forward that message. Just 1 minute. You can see here message to the mail server, and that message will be dropped into the spool, that is there is a buffer here, that message will be stored into that buffer. Then it will be forwarded to the MTA client. Now here we are using the another mail client, another component of the email, which is called as the message transfer agent. Then what he will do forward that message on the internet, okay, or via the internet to the another mail server. Now here it is another mail server, you can see in the diagram, and once it is reached to the another mail server, then the responsibility of the MTA server is to store that message into the box, that is into the memory. Now Bob will read that message by using the program named as a user agent. So by this way we can exchange the mail from Alice to the Bob by using the second scenario. Now what are the differences between the first scenario and second scenario? In the first scenario there was only one mail server was there, and to that mail server Alice and Bob's were connected, and two user agents are used. Now here in case of the second scenario, there are two different mail servers are there. Okay, then two user agent and message transfer agent is also used. In case of the first scenario, we were not use the MTA, that is my message transfer agent, but here we have to use the MTA. Why MTA is required? MTA is required to transfer the mail via the internet. When we want to transfer the email or message from via the internet, at that time we require the MTA, that is message transfer agent. Message transfer agent client and message transfer agent server. Client is at the sender side and the server is at the receiver side. Okay. So now what is the important thing here? When the sender and the receiver of an email are on different mail server, we need two user agents and a pair of MTA, client and server. Now third scenario is again different than the second scenario. We have seen in the second scenario the Alice and Bob were directly connected to the mail server, means Alice is connected to one mail server and Bob is connected to the another mail server, but the connection was direct. Now here in case of the third scenario, Alice is not directly connected to the mail server. Alice is connected to the mail server, but how? It is connected via LAN or WAN. LAN or WAN. Now what is the procedure to send the mail over here? Okay, so we'll see that. First of all, Alice will call the program named as user agent. Will write some content because Alice have to send the mail to the Bob. So at the client side there is the MTA client. MTA client will take that message and it will be forwarded via LAN or WAN to the mail server. At the mail server there is a MTA server. MTA server will forward that message up to the buffer, or we can say the spool. That message will be stored into the pool. Now at the server again there is a MTA client. The responsibility of the MTA client is here to forward that message via the internet to the another mail server, which is at the receiver side, or you can say the Bob side. Bob is the another user. Then at the receiver side it will be stored into the buffer, that is box, you can see in the figure, and finally Bob will be able to read that message. So this is a procedure to send the message from Alice to the Bob by using third scenario. Now what is the important thing over here? So when the sender is connected to the mail server via a LAN or WAN, we need two user agents and two pairs of MTAs, client and server. Now I'll see the fourth scenario. In the fourth scenario, you can see here user agent sorry for disturbance. In the fourth scenario, user agent. Now here Alice want to send or transfer again message to the Bob by using the different methods. So here in fourth scenario, Alice is directly not connected to the mail server, or even though Bob is not directly connected to the mail server. Both Alice and Bob were connected via the LAN or WAN to the mail server, and the remaining things are again same as like the third scenario. Just the difference is that here Bob is connected to the mail server via LAN or WAN. The remaining procedure is same as like the third scenario. So now Alice will execute the program user agent, then the message will be transferred to the MTA client. The MTA client will forward that message to the MTA server, which is at the sender side. Then MTA server will forward that message, or that message will be stored into the spool, or you can check the buffer, and again it will be forwarded to the MTA client. Now this message via the internet, it will be forwarded to the mail server, which is available at the receiver side, inside the Bob side. Now it will be reached to the MTA server. MTA server will forward that message to the buffer, or we can set the spool. It will be stored into the pool. So up to this we are using the SMTP protocol. Means Alice to mail server, which is available at the Alice side, means client side. Then from mail server, one mail server to the another mail server. Okay, these two mail servers are connected via the internet. So up to this we are using the SMTP protocol. Now from here onward we are using the different protocol, which is called as the POP or IMAP protocol. So now message access agent server, MAA, will pull that message, and finally that message will be dropped into the inbox of the receiver's mail ID. So you can see here, and Bob is here able to read the message. Okay, so nowadays the email architecture which we are using is based on the fourth scenario. So in the fourth scenario, when both sender and receiver are connected to the mail server via LAN or a WAN, we need two user agent, two pairs of MTAs, client and server, and a pair of message access agent, client and server. And this is the most commonly situation or which most common situation in today's date we are using. Now the concept of push versus pull. So push means what? Push, SMTP uses the concept of push. Keep in mind, might be the question will be asking the MCQ. Okay, so MTA client, MTA server, they are using the client pushes message, and message access agent client sorry, message access agent server, they are using the concept of pull. Means POP and IMAP protocol uses the pull and SMTP uses the push. So message access agent client and message access agent server, request and response. Now we'll see the different component. So first component is the user agent, and already I told the functionality of the user agent. Okay, so the first component of electronic mail system is the user agent. It provides service to the user to make the process of sending and receiving a message easier. So here services provided by user agent. User agent types, two types, command driven, and second one is the GUI. Then sending mail, receiving mail, addresses and mailing list or a group list. So some example of command driven users agents are mail. Mail is which we are using is the best example of the command driven. Okay, Pine and ELM. Some examples of the GUI. Some examples of GUI based user agents are Eudora, Outlook and Netscape. These are some example. You might have seen when we are on the mobile, when we are directly composing the mail. So at that time we are using the Outlook, and via that, or Netscape, via that we are forwarding the email. So here as you are already using the email, means already you have sent the mail number of times, so you know that how to send the mail. So that architecture is explained over here. So mail from, okay, means from which mail ID we want to send the mail. So that email ID is written over here. To whom we have to send the mail, that mail ID will be written in the to field. Okay, so from to, then date will be there, then subject, okay, and then finally content. So from to, so this is called as the header. Message consists of generally header and its content, header and some other information. Header means source ID, destination ID, we know that. So as like this, from is the source ID, to is the destination ID. Okay, and in the body contain the actual message, actual content. So dear, this message is written, and finally this concept is based on the postal system. In the previous days we were using the postal system. Means suppose I want to send the letter to my friend, then what is the procedure? Just I will take one envelope. Onto that envelope I will write the address to and from. Okay, these two addresses will be written onto this envelope, and when there is one separate letter, onto that letter or one document, we can say that document I will write the address to, then subject, respected sir, madam, whatever that, then the content of that letter, and lastly yours faithfully, and then I will insert that letter into the envelope, and that envelope will be sent. Okay, so this is the email part. Addresses, local part, domain name, message transfer agent, and now the second component, message transfer agent, MTA. Okay, we have seen MTA client, MTA server. So these are the parts of the SMTP server. So command and responses, mail transfer pages, Okay, now see the diagram. In this diagram, you can see here the SMTP protocol is actually used. So from Alice to the mail server. Okay, up to here we are using the SMTP protocol because Alice is connected via LAN or WAN to the mail server. Then from this one mail server to the another mail server. Okay, these two mail servers are connected via the internet. Again, we are using the SMTP protocol. But from the second mail server to the Bob, which is not shown over in this diagram, but from second mail server to the Bob, we are using the POP or IMAP protocol. Okay, client command and responses, MTA client, MTA server. So there are some commands which we can use to send while sending the mails, and you will get the responses. So which are those commands? Hello, then mail from, receive to, data, quit, reset. These are some commands. Okay, generally we are using while sending the mail. Okay, these also responses. Now connection establishment. While sending the mail, what is the procedure? First of all, the connection will be established. So to establish the connection, client sends the request to the server, because the server is always 24/7 server is ready. So once the server is ready, then server gives the reply to the client, yes, I am ready, and client will establish the connection. And can establish the connection, and once the connection is established, then they are able to transfer the message. Okay, and this is the procedure: mail from, then to, then data, this subject, all these things. That is a part of the message transfer. Okay, and finally connection will be terminated. Once it is over, then a client sends the message to the server, my work is over. After some time, server gives the reply, okay, service is closed. And the third component is the message access agent. Now in case of the message access agent, we have to study the POP and IMAP protocol. So POP3 and IMAP4 protocols. POP3 and IMAP4 protocol. How it works? Alice, then you see the diagram. Alice to the mail server, that is Alice which is connected via LAN or WAN. Here we are using SMTP. Then from one mail server to the another mail server, again SMTP protocol. And then from second mail server to the Bob, we are using the POP3 or IMAP4, which is already I told to you. Now, how the POP3 protocol works? Okay, at the receiver side, when user will enter the username, means email ID, it is okay, then it will enter the password. If it is okay, then the list of mail will be displayed, whichever available in the inbox. Then user will retrieve the emails, or we can set the messages one by one, and he will read that messages. So MTA client and MTA server, you can see here in the diagram, which we are used. Now, most important thing which I want to tell you, the difference between the POP3 and IMAP4 protocol. Okay, both this protocol is called as the message access agent protocol. But what are the differences? POP3 protocol has some limitations. So we'll see which are those limitations. So POP3 and IMAP4. So the first difference is, in case of the if we are using the POP3 protocol, then we cannot create the folders into the mailbox, because nowadays there is a facility we can create the different folders, means for the spam one separate folder, then for social messages for the again separate folder, then primary messages separate folder, we can make it. Okay, so this facility is available in if we are using the IMAP4 protocol. If you are using the POP3 protocol, then this facility will not be available. First difference. Then second difference, if the suppose there is a one attachment, and we want to read that attachment by clicking onto it, without downloading. So we can read it if we are using the IMAP 4 protocol. But if we are using the POP3 protocol, then we cannot download that mail partially. So how we can write this difference? By using POP3 protocol, partially downloading is not possible. But if you are using the IMAP 4 protocol, then partially downloading is possible. Second difference. Then third difference between the POP3 and IMAP 4. By using the IMAP 4 protocol, we can add, delete, or we can create. Okay, these facilities are available, but in case of the POP3, these features means the add, delete, or update, okay, or create. These operations are not available, or we cannot use it in case of the POP3. So these are some differences between the POP3 and IMAP 4. So that's why nowadays we are using the IMAP 4 protocol. Okay, so we'll stop here.